Is the music weird for anyone else? I don't know.
Stop the recording. Stop the recording. I have stopped.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Got there. Music sounds a bit odd. Shouldn't. No? Don't know why.
I don't think we
Music sound pitched down for a few weeks. Outro music got pitch shifted down.
I don't think that's something we can do. Unless there's
Hang on.
like a special effect on the board happening.
Hang on, play it.
The outro music?
Yeah. No. Music sounds fine this time. I was going to say, that's how it's supposed to sound. So it didn't sound like that. I don't understand.
I don't know.
No, see, some people say that it still sounds wrong. That's how the outro music has always sounded. It's different. It's a different piece of music from the intro.
Maybe...
Perhaps it's when local recording is on. It was messed up before. All right, hang on. Now I'm curious. All right, local recording is on. Let's try this. Someone says it sounded fine both times. This still sounds fine to me. Some people are saying it sounded fine both times, so I'm gonna say not on our end.
Maybe there was something weird on the encode, although I've never heard it actually like changing the pitch. I mean, I could see it like dropping some audio at some point, but
Maybe.
anyway. Hi everybody.
Hi.
That was CheckPoint, and it went completely flawlessly,
Flawlessly.
as it always does.
Always flawless. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the stories, shall we? What? All right, what we got first? Right. Just Cause 3. We've talked about these before. This, like, you see, the map on this game is so much bigger than the map on this game, and it doesn't matter.
No.
You absolutely cannot compare games based on that.
I mean, what's on the map and what you're actually doing,
Yeah.
obviously, is the important thing. Now, in defense for Just Cause, like,
Oh, it's amazing.
well, and also like a large, like in Fallout, for example, what's interesting about the map is like all the little, like, oh, this is like a little town that, or there's like a little
There's also a lot
shop
of,
here with like a little
There's also way more interior spaces.
info going on. Yeah.
In Fallout, which, I mean, I actually haven't played Just Cause 3, but in the previous Just Causes, there was not a lot of indoor stuff.
Right.
Weird.
But the I feel like Just Cause, Just Cause isn't so much about the like, oh, I found a little house that has some weird piece of information going on in it. It's just like more physics objects to mess around with,
Exactly.
which it does a good job of providing you with.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about last time we did this story. It was comparing different Elder Scrolls games, and it was like, you see how big Morrowind is compared to how massive Daggerfall is, and it's like, yeah, but there's nothing to do in Daggerfall,
Right.
Because it's procedurally generated and goes on for functionally ever.
Right, and I mean it's like Minecraft is the same, right?
Yeah,
like
Minecraft is huge. Like there's a guy literally who does a YouTube series walking. He's trying to get to the edge of Minecraft. He's been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's the Far Lands or Bust, right? I can't actually remember how long he's been doing it, and he's nowhere near even halfway there.
Well, and he's
Minecraft, best game ever.
and
right?
he's using an old version
that actually has an
that
end
actually
point.
has an end. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Although, apparently he's at the point now where it's starting to seriously mess up. So there's a good chance he might not make it.
Now, to be clear, this thing that They Call Me Connor, the YouTuber, did, I think is really neat. I'm actually very interested to see these videos that he's done walking from one side of a map to another. He did Grand Theft Auto 5 in like a little under 5 hours. The Fallout games, the 3D Fallout games are sort of plus or minus an hour. They float around the hour mark. I think it's interesting. It's when people see those and go, the map is bigger in this game, therefore it is the better open world game. And it's like, no, guys, come on.
And I don't think the guy who's doing these isn't making any value judgments as to whether that's good or not. It's just a cool thing to do. Mm-hmm. To like, it's basically like a sightseeing tour of like, look at all the cool things. Because normally, obviously, in like Just Cause, especially, you're zooming along in your rocket powered scrotum or whatever, and you're not really taking in the environment. So
yeah, that's true. The Farlands or Bust is actually a fundraiser for Child's Play, like that specific thing. And Ashton clarifies. So he's using an earlier version of Minecraft before they fix this thing. That the Farlands are this. They're not like, it's not like the map just stops. It gets so far out that, what does Ashton say? The floating point errors start to mess with the physics.
Yeah, well, it's because even now, like, if he points at a block, the like little thing highlighting what block he's pointed at is like way offset from where his actual mouse is.
Oh, it's already starting to mess up a bit.
Oh, it's been messed up for like a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because I know that he's like not anywhere near the end.
Yeah, but the idea being that there's not, it's not like a deliberate end, but there is just a point where the math that was used to generate the procedural thing starts
falling apart.
Starts getting, well, you have basically so many decimal, you're talking about the decimal points get so long that it starts messing up. And yeah. But I know it has been fixed now, but
Aviary Attorney. Do I still have the thing open?
I love the art style for the Aviary Attorney is so nice.
Just a sec, I want to find.
It's so fancy.
Switch to this. Can I do that? No, I can't. I can't switch to that. I will have to do it over here.
Yeah. It's one of those games where I feel like they figured out in some ways they came up with like the art style before they even like worked out what the premise would be. They're just like, we want to make a game that looks like this. Is sort of like these 18th century French like woodcuts.
Yeah.
And then they figured out like a game to give them a reason to do that.
So check this out. Screen capture. Oh no, they killed Mr. Toad.
No more wild riding for him.
Oh, I should bring that back. There we go. It's kind of great. It looks like a Wondermark comic. It does. It's the same sort of... Oh, right, the animal heads. Yeah. It's the same kind of idea. Hang on, let me skip ahead to the actual...
And it's just like...
There, that's JJ Falcon. That's your character. But look, see, it's a very Ace Attorney setup.
Yeah, like, is there any situation in which birds wearing waistcoats is not awesome? Like, I don't think so.
Look at this guy. Severin Cocorico.
No nonsense bird of justice. It's true. Why don't we still dress like that?
Hang on. Wait, where's my favorite clip from the... There. The evidence is indisputable.
Objection!
Yes. Objection. Anyway. We just thought that looked neat.
Anyway.
The Kingdom Hearts story So that is like for fans of Kingdom Hearts. That's legit news that there's like a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 out, even though it is like coming in development. The end of the trailer just says now in development. Like we're working on it, but the story was really just an excuse to talk about.
I appreciate that people in the chat were like, "I'm so confused right now."
Yeah,
that was the idea.
That's the
story,
and that's seriously the easiest way to explain it is by talking about what's in the bundles.
It's basically like
they're fun games, but the narrative flow is super goofy.
Because there's been like I think six actual games.
Yeah,
but then
I have the Wikipedia article here.
There's been there's like the 6 actual games in the series.
Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, which was the Game Boy Advance sequel,
which came out after Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, it came out in this order. Kingdom Hearts 2, because Chain of Memories was 2004. Kingdom Hearts 2 was 2005.
Oh, okay.
This is the order they were released.
Right,
then Kingdom Hearts Coded was an episodic mobile phone game.
Right.
Then Kingdom Hearts. Hang on, I had to look up how this is meant to be pronounced.
Over
358 Days Over 2.
Yeah.
Then Birth by Sleep, which was a PSP game. Then Dream Drop Distance, which was the 3DS game.
Right. But then the trick is, almost all of those, especially the ones that weren't originally released for like living room consoles, like all the mobile ones, were then re-released for consoles in updated versions and given different names.
Yeah.
So there's like recoded.
No, hang on. So Phoenix Miller is saying Kingdom Hearts Recoded was a remake of Kingdom Hearts 1. No. Kingdom Hearts Recoded was HD cinematics from Kingdom Hearts Coded that is included in the 2.5 remix. Kingdom Hearts Recoded is not actually a game.
So confusing.
It's HD. It's an HD cinematic theater in
No.
2.5 remix.
The game was remade for DS. No, Kingdom Hearts Coded.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts Recoded
was made for mobile phone, and then Kingdom Hearts Recoded was made for 3DS or for DS.
Right. So
see, we're reading the Wikipedia entry and we're even getting confused.
Right. So Coded was a mobile phone game that was, I believe, only released in Japan. And then, Recoded was remade as a DS game. But on the HD 2.5 remix, Recoded only appears as the HD cinematics.
Right.
So
and then basically they really there's the 6 games that are sort of the series, but then each game has an HD version, or many of them have HD versions that have different names. And then they also have released these 2 collections that are 1.5 remix and 2.5 remix that have like 2 games plus cinematics from a 3rd game, plus like a preview of the next one, and then now they're releasing 2.8. So it's just basically that, I don't know, the big thing that
the games themselves
they're
are
supposed to be good,
really good. It's so just the naming conventions and the sort of narrative flow is very difficult to keep track of.
And it's like if you're like me, who the only thing I really know about Kingdom Hearts is like a little bit I've seen people playing of it and like the original concept,
right?
Which seemed cool. It was like, what? Square and Disney working together to make an RPG? That's crazy. And there's like Square characters are like going between Disney worlds and fighting things. That's weird. But then like reading the like synopses of the games on like Wikipedia or whatever, and it's like, what?
The actual narrative is...
I thought this was like the Sora was like with like Donald and Goofy and was like going between Disney worlds. Where did all this other stuff come from? It's like, isn't a Final Fantasy character fighting with Donald and Goofy into Disney worlds? Like, isn't that cool and weird enough? Why do we have all this other stuff in here as well? And why are Donald and Goofy even there now? Like, at this point, they're just like other characters that don't actually, they don't seem to be actually related to the Disney stuff much at all anymore.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm sure Matt can explain it to us at some point.
I'm sure. Yeah, I remember we did a couple of them for Unskippable. And I got super confused trying to...
Yes.
I was like, we got Kingdom Hearts and like did that one. And then I got like what I thought was a different game, and it was like, wait, this is the same game again. What happened here? It's clearly a different game, but the cinematic at the beginning is the same.
Yep.
Anyway.
And then, so the bigger story there, the Coleco Chameleon. I don't know. I feel like there isn't the market for this thing. I mean, like, it's easy to say that because they only hit 4% of their Indiegogo goal. By the way, Indiegogo goal is a tough... it's easy to say that obviously there isn't a market, but...
Not that easy to say, clearly.
I guess not. It's just sort of... He's so doubled down on that it has to be cartridge-based and that was what made gaming great. And I feel like that's wrong.
I don't think, like
the
as somebody who played those consoles, I mean, Super Nintendo and Nintendo had cartridges, but that was all there was, right? There wasn't any alternative. It wasn't like everyone was like, yes, cartridges, excellent.
This is from the Indiegogo for the retro video game console. We are gamers and seasoned industry professionals who have dedicated our careers to making great video games. We know firsthand what it takes to get the major bugs out of games before they're released, and that players should never need to download and install system updates and game patches. Network-dependent video game consoles rob us of the time we want to spend playing, and the ability to play games we own just because they aren't compatible with the latest updates or can't connect to a distant or decommissioned server.
But, I mean, PlayStation 2, Wii, Xbox, like... all of those consoles were not network dependent.
No.
Also weren't cartridge based.
Yeah.
They were CD based.
Yeah.
Which is a big difference. Also, remember when there's been a couple of times that Wii games needed to do updates and Nintendo was like, no problem, easy to do updates. All you do, take your memory card, mail it to us. We'll install the update on the memory card.
I remember that.
We'll send it back to you.
Yeah.
You can install it. Easy peasy.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's just like the idea, like as I said in the story, it's like, you know, he has this thing in his head that's like you finish games and you work out all the bugs and then you release the game so that you never need to patch it. And it's like that never happened. There was always problems with games. It was like, oh yeah, there's this glitch in this game.
But they couldn't.
Guess it's there forever.
Yeah. And I mean, you could make network games, you know, you could make games on Steam or whatever, and then just not patch them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess people expect patches so that to fix stuff, but it's just kind of odd.
Yeah, take gaming back to its roots. Never patch a game. Games are tested thoroughly before release, just like they used to be. I don't think you know
it's like,
what
it's
making
like
games was like.
And it's like...
they were also way simpler games.
And it's like, I'm all for, you know, there's all sorts of cool retro games, you know. But the not patching them, I don't think, was the big thing. I mean, to take an example of a retro game, or a retro-styled game that has just come out, you know, the Shovel Knight, right?
Yeah. It's awesome.
And that received a patch that wasn't like, we're fixing a bunch of bugs. It was, here's another whole game, basically, that we played on the stream, the Plague Knight game, right? Like, that wouldn't have been possible. Actually, probably that would have been the like, Sonic and Knuckles cartridge to stick in. That would have been cool, actually.
Yeah. And I just find it funny that, like, the thing didn't work on Indiegogo, so then they're like, we're partnering with Coleco. But it's like, Coleco isn't a thing. It's...
Yeah, it's like, I think you're vastly overestimating the nostalgia people have for ColecoVision.
It's like, I looked at River West brands, by the way, and it's like, it's like a bunch of brand names that, like, had memorable commercials in the 60s through the 80s that don't really exist anymore. Like Metrocal for like diet supplements, Eagle brand snacks, Underalls, underwear, Nuprin, like small yellow efficient or whatever the hell their thing was. Right? It's like, it's like we've partnered with Coleco. No, you haven't. Coleco
died.
Went bankrupt in 1988 and sold their stuff to Hasbro. Like,
Actually, and now I was just thinking, you know, the most famous retro game of all time, Pac-Man,
yeah,
is famous for having a huge glitch in it.
yeah, that's true.
That they probably would have fixed if they could have.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, like I said, I was like, you know, hey, do you remember the ColecoVision going from viewership stats? You probably don't, because it was released in '82. The video game crash was in '83, and they stopped selling it in '84. And then Coleco, they also in 1983, Coleco released Cabbage Patch Kids. That was popular, and they did a plush Elf. Remember Elf? You probably don't remember Elf either. And then they sold Cabbage Patch Kids to
cats.
Hasbro. Yeah, he did. He did eat cats.
In hindsight, probably not the best marketable feature.
Yeah. So, yeah. Also, the Connecticut Leather Company is like one of my favorite pieces of random video game trivia.
Yeah.
Because they were a toy company, the Connecticut Leather Company, Coleco.
It's like there's that other video game company that's just known by its I think it's gone now, but it was just known by its the letters in its name.
Oh, I can't remember.
It sounded
It's funny too, because I was like I was starting to write the story, and I was like, one of the first video game consoles, and I was like, wait, that's not right, is it? And I looked it up. It was second generation. The second wave was in the late '70s, early '80s. The first generation was pretty much just the Magnavox Odyssey.
THQ, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, right. Toy Headquarters.
Toy Headquarters, right? Again,
Yeah.
It's like stupid name.
Yeah, THQ. There
Yeah,
you go.
THQ is what I'm thinking of.
So
Anyway.
I don't know. I truly think that I had to ask Kathleen for an appropriate band to reference, but the this is specifically about the Coleco Chameleon. It will take gamers and their families back to a simpler time where games were all about great gameplay and fun factor. And it's like, they still are. You are doing the video game equivalent of there hasn't been any real music since Steely Dan. Right? It's like,
I'm just
music
imagining-
today isn't as good as music was when I listened to music. Now it's all garbage.
I'm just imagining the guy who's like sponsoring the Indiegogo or whatever, you know, proudly getting his Coleco Chameleon, and then like, hey kids, check this out. And the kids are like, sure, Dad, that's cool.
Yeah.
Couldn't we just play this on our, you know, on my Steam machine or on the computer, or could I get this in the you know, Wii Retro Arcade? He's like, yeah, but it's on these cartridges. It's like, yeah.
Does anyone else DAE born in the wrong decade for games?
Anyway,
Only 80s kids will remember. All right, some other stories we didn't do. So, a French consumer group called the UFC. No, not. It's the UFC Coup Choisir, which is like the. It translates roughly to like the National Consumers Group.
yeah.
Is suing Valve for actually a couple things in the Valve terms of service, and they're not likely to succeed. But
I believe Valve has actually fought this particular battle at least once before
with a German consumer group.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, there was just so many. This was a deep story. It was too much to get across in sort of like a flippant couple minute
Ultimate
CheckPoint thing.
League.
Ultimate Frenching League. Such as the ones that they have a problem with are the Steam subscriber agreement forbids users to sell their games.
To resell games, yeah.
To resell games. Valve declines responsibility in case they get hacked and personal info is stolen. Valve claims ownership on the rights of user-created content uploaded to Steam. You can't get money in your Steam wallet back if you are banned, which is like, yeah, idiot. And Valve applies Luxembourg's consumer law regardless of the user's country. And I didn't actually look into that last one, but it's the reselling things.
Yeah, and
It was their big one.
and that's something that's actually quite interesting.
It's super interesting, yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, yeah, like the idea of reselling stuff obviously is a consumer thing, right? I mean, up until digital releases, reselling software and games.
You take
and
your pile of
all
games
this
into
stuff.
the GameStop and you get $5.
Yeah. And GameStop resells them for $20 each.
Yeah.
It's all the system, that's how it works.
It's like you take them in and you're like, here's all these awesome games I want to trade in and buy new awesome games. And they're like, cool, they're worth diddly shit. And you're like,
yeah.
well, I'll keep my crappy games then.
But when like Steam and when all these digital download stuff first came out, that was like a big issue that people were really concerned about, was that reselling. And over time it's sort of become less of a deal, especially, as like Steam deals and stuff have come out, where the idea being that it's so much cheaper to do the digital downloads that it kind of offsets the reselling thing. And frankly, like, I don't know, I feel like, maybe there'll be like a short-term benefit because it's like, yeah, you can resell your games.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the long term, allowing people to resell games like on Steam probably would be,
I think it'd be
detrimental.
Worse for the consumer because, well, you wouldn't be able to do Steam sales as they are, right? Because
Right.
it's like, this game is $2, and then you have some bot that's just like buys 300 of them, and then
waits a couple weeks.
waits until it's back up, and then is like, hey, when the game's like back up to $10, and goes, hey, here's that game for $5,
Right.
And just like
It's the idea, because there's
undercuts the rest of it.
Because the idea is, with a physical product, like a used version of a physical product is
Used.
is
It is not new. It is imperfect.
yeah, it doesn't have it's often either doesn't work as well, or it has less appeal than the new version. But with the digital thing, there is no used and new, right? And so you can resell it a billion times and it just works the same. So it's tricky. Obviously, reselling is something I'd like to do.
Oh, exactly. I know that happens now, Eric the Orange. And Zotomedu says Valve has already said they would instantly stop sales if they were forced to allow a secondhand market. Yeah, because they wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that happens from humble bundle codes, but it's not allowed. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
Not illegal. I don't know if it's probably not actually like illegal, but it's against terms of service.
I would have to look into that. Yeah.
I don't know what the actual legality of it, but it's illegal from. It's not allowed, I guess, is better than illegal.
Their point that Valve claims rights on user-created content that you upload to Steam. Valve claims non-exclusive rights,
Right.
which they have to be able to distribute them.
Or to like be able to, show it in the store.
Yeah, like that's when,
I mean, it's like
when Bungie used our Destiny Tales video in their year one Destiny wrap up hype video, right? We signed a non-exclusive thing with them that they could do that. They don't own that video. They can't sell it. They can't make money off of it. But they have non-exclusive rights to use it, so that they're allowed to make that video.
I mean, I would actually not be surprised if you look in like the Twitch user agreement, the YouTube user agreement, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
They have to put that thing in there so that they have the right to show like a screenshot of your video. You can't be like, I uploaded this video to YouTube and now you're showing a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
I'm suing you. And that's just how the system works.
Yeah. So it's interesting. The so this is a breakdown on a Kotaku article that says the last point, the bit about Luxembourg law, is flat out wrong. In Steam's user subscriber agreement, Valve writes, however, where the laws of Luxembourg provide a lower degree of consumer protection than the laws of your country, the consumer protection laws of your country shall prevail.
Well, there you go.
So, anyway.
Wonder what they got with Luxembourg.
I guess they're prosumer. I don't know.
Or pro company.
Anyway, so you see how this was like an involved story. It's interesting. I don't think they're going to win anything.
No, they're not.
Because like the only one that's like actually an interesting discussion is the resale thing, and the other ones are like pretty cut and dried.
And it's one of those things where like if they did win, that would be like because they won't just be like, okay, people in France can resell their games. Obviously, they can't just do that.
Yeah.
So it'll be like far-reaching effects over the entire industry, which seems unlikely.
Bird thing, we talked about that. Cartridge gaming. Oh man, there's a game. Just a sec. I gotta show you this.
So yeah, there's a game coming out, or I think is it being kickstarted right now or something?
Let me look it up. It is in development.
In development, and it's called Cluster Truck. And if you keep that idea in your mind, this video is actually, I feel like, a pretty accurate representation of that word.
So A plus game title. Mm-hmm. This is Cluster Truck. You're jumping from the tops of semi-trailer trucks
that are in the process of crashing, it appears.
Yeah. Like, it looks super fun too, but like A+ theme and name.
It reminds me it reminds me of like that old game Truck Dismount. If you ever played that?
Truck Dismount.
It's like Truck Dismount, except you're outside the truck and trying to deal with it while the truck dismount is happening. It looks pretty silly.
Yeah. It looks like the Autobahn. Cluster Truck.
Yeah. How awesome would the like highway scene from The Matrix have been if it was like that? I mean, obviously, hopefully it would look a little better than that.
Yeah.
In terms of the graphics. Not to diss these guys, but if that's what they did, if that's what it's like, you're now in The Matrix. Really? It's not that impressive looking. I expected The Matrix to look a little more realistic.
Yeah.
People are stupid, it turns out.
Hot Date is out for iOS. It's a game where you speed date pugs. Mm-hmm. So that's fun.
It's like I guess it's like
it's
How
the
to
game
Boyfriend, but pugs.
I guess the game itself isn't new, so we didn't do the story, but it just came out on iOS. I love the lead from the Polygon story. Hot Date, a pug speed dating sim.
From the extensive genre of pug speed dating sims. This is another entry.
Yeah.
I feel like it's maybe a game that like they built a speed dating game and then they were like, we need a hook.
Pugs.
And then they're like, people are hard to draw. Why don't we just make it dogs? And they're like, how about just pugs?
Love it. This is not new. This is new. There, World of Warcraft Legion is will be the hot new drop.
Yeah.
For WoW. It also increases. Welcome, Spartan. It also increases the draw distance, the view distance in the game. There's some comparisons online, and not by like an amazing amount. It's interesting. You don't seem to see a lot more necessarily like environment detail, but there's just less fog,
and you see more like the stuff
shapes.
Far away is like sort of shadowy and stuff, but you can see all of it. And of course, because it's WoW and it's a giant open world thing, but like there's a giant mountain over there. You can actually run there eventually.
In how many hours?
I don't know.
I wonder if They Call Me Connor has done Azeroth yet.
Guy working on it. Yeah. It's a cool idea though. Like apparently it doesn't even like increase the
graphical requirements.
The processor load that much.
Nice.
I think it's one of those things where it's just like, WoW has obviously
hot new cocaine sampler from Blizzard.
WoW is like what, 10 years old now, and like that. I mean, like it's one of those things where they probably like made some choices in terms of how the rendering stuff would work. That was a smart move back then. Then they're like, somebody was just like going through the stuff and like, why is this so low? Someone was like, oh yeah, turn that up.
So,
also, I can just imagine like in WoW, like, you've got there's the like the emotes in WoW, like the waving and
Right.
stuff. I just imagine like just two people on like either end of the continent just being like, hey, hi, what? Come over here. What? It's when the draw distance is too far.
I'll be over in a year.
There's a neat article on Gama Sutra about the new, or not new, but the Final Fantasy VI that's coming out that just came out on Steam.
Did it just come out?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. This is the PC re-release.
Oh yeah, right.
But unfortunately, the one that came out on Steam is a release of the version that came out on iOS a while ago.
Right.
And so the thing is, for some reason, Final Fantasy, like, they've been doing, like, there's, like, 3 or 4 different ways that they do re-releases. Like, because some of the early ones have been actually, like, full 3D-ified.
Yeah.
And so this one, what they did is they redrew most of the graphics for this mobile release.
Yeah.
But they redrew them not at, like, massively high resolutions. I think they just doubled the resolution that it would be otherwise.
Yeah, I'm going to copy this article over while you're talking.
And the problem is that obviously double the resolution of a Super Nintendo is still not that high resolution. And so they have to now upscale it again. The problem is that they did the upscaling in basically the worst way possible. And they upscaled the sprites and the like the sprites of like the people and like the background tiles and stuff differently. And they, instead of actually like reformatting it for widescreen, because of course Super Nintendo was
4x3.
4x3.
Yeah.
Instead of reformatting it for widescreen, they just stretched everything out. So everyone's heads are like, like Stewie from Family Guy.
Yeah.
And like, there's this article on Gama Sutra. It's basically this guy talking about everything they did and talking about. It's like, look, this is the stuff they did wrong. Like, you can see this like massive seams in a bunch of the textures, and then also and proposes it's like there is technology that exists that we have that like you can, if you load up. This is the thing. If you load up Final Fantasy VI in an emulator, like the original Super Nintendo one, on an emulator, and turn on the smoothing stuff,
Yeah.
it looks better than this one that actually has higher resolution graphics, but they've been rescaled wrong.
Yeah.
And so they're like, let's draw these new graphics, not high enough resolution. Let's then scale them up and make them all blurry. And it's just like, guys, come on. This is your thing. This is your game.
It's a really interesting article. Definitely, I linked it in the chat there. Definitely check it out.
The other thing that I like they're talking about is in the original one, there were not portraits beside people talking. Like, it was just text when people talked.
Wait, were there not?
I believe the portraits were just in the...
on the menus.
They were just in the menu screens.
Right.
And so they're saying that results in a bit of a problem in that sometimes they only have like one portrait of the person.
Right.
And so you have the thing where it's like, oh my God, what's going on? Is like the text, and the portrait is like, hey. Whereas normally for these games, when they have the portraits, normally there's like a couple different versions of the portrait. Anyway, it's just one of those things where it's just like really disappointing. And why, considering the amount of all the like stuff we've been hearing about Final Fantasy, the new Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's like clearly people at Square Enix care about this stuff. they care about some of it anyway, and they care about a lot of things. These new sprites that they drew were actually drawn by the original person who did the sprites for Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
But they redrew them at not high enough resolution.
Or they redrew them at a high enough resolution that could work, but then made them blurry instead of using a cool, like, fancy smoother.
Yeah, it's just like
Anyway.
frustrating. It's just that's what it is. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of that thing where it's like where they make Blu-ray releases of like old cartoons where they haven't spent any effort on the upscaling. They just like run a computer algorithm on the upscaling to make it work. And so like the black outlines that people have are like all weirdly broken in certain places and stuff. And it's just like, it's like you had the thing, you have this product that people really want, you could have made it. If somebody had just given a crap, you could have made it cool. But no.
Unrelated to that, God Asterisk was asking if people are tapped out for a few months and the Patreon drops below the AFK milestone, will we lose AFK? No. If it dips for a month, no. If
it's consistently,
if it drops and stays there for a while, then we will probably have to. But I don't.
Yeah.
We're confident that will not happen.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see on the Patreon right now, obviously we're like way above it right now. We don't expect to stay that far above it because of the whole.
That's for the new moon-based gratitude wall thing.
Yeah, but that combined with the fact that what is doing this, if you've seen that all the milestones have gone down.
Yeah, because Patreon changed how they display.
It's displaying differently.
Patreon now displays not only the amount after fees, but also it factors in what I believe is technically called delinquent payments, which is when like a payment doesn't go through.
You kids!
You delinquents! So it looks like it just happened to everyone on Patreon, it looks like the number dropped a lot. And because previously we had been factoring the fees and everything into the milestones, we have also, because because the numbers are appearing lower, we have now also reduced the number for all the milestones in the same amount. So it's even more attainable now visually than it was before. So I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, we shall see what happens. Obviously, we've been totally blown away by the generosity.
It's been
on people, and
we can't wait to show you guys the new space. By the way, it's
so
cool.
We've got a nice spot picked out for the Patreon wall, and it's going to be good. I mean, it's one of those things where we had a whole plan. We had a plan for how the Patreon wall was going to go, not counting that as many people would be on it as have decided to be on it.
Yeah,
which is amazing, but also. We'll have to figure.
We'll just get the JitLove font.
Yeah, we'll just get we'll just do it all at CheckPoint.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then there'll be actually
we'll hang a magnifying glass.
I was gonna say on like a little
on a chain,
a little chain, and then you can come and look at it.
I see.
Yeah,
it's not that crazy.
Maybe a loop.
Ooh, run along the wall. We can do it on one of those like track things, right? So run like track up either side. With a bar, and you can slide the loop on the bar, so you can like
maybe just like a microfiche reader.
Oh, perfect! There we go. We'll just install a microfiche machine and have everyone's name on like a little bit of like whatever it is, plastic and the microfiche. Yeah. Done.
Perfect.
Yeah. If we have that technology.
I don't know if we do. We've lost it. We had it. Now we don't.
I'm pretty sure they still have some microfiche machines up at the university.
That's true.
Also, what a pain in the ass it would be. Those things are big. What an absolute pain. I don't know if I don't know if anyone caught this. The JitLove font.
I believe the JitLove super font.
Right. Sorry, the super font created by Mike JitLove. Also known as the Wizard of Speed and Time. He made
deep cut.
Yeah, he made a font that's like basically it's designed to be readable, printed out. Like it's as small as it can be and still be legible to most naked eyes. Was the intent?
No, it's the smallest you can make a pixel font.
Right.
while still actually
Having distinct letters.
having distinct letters. Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
being it, which, and I believe it's 6 pixels high. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about it, like it's either 5 or because even like an E, you need at least 1 pixel between each thing, right? So yes, it is called not only is it the Jitlov, Jittlov,
Which is his last name.
no E.
Yeah.
Not only does it have it's like the full ASCII character set plus extended characters plus
Andrew, Wizard of Speed and Time.
a couple other plus a couple other like special like other languages stuff, Cyrillic stuff, plus I believe a complete set of Viking runes. This is why it's the super font. Mike Jitlov, awesome guy. Wizard of Speed and Time, amazing movie. If you haven't seen it,
check out the Wizard of Speed and Time. It's a very quirky, super fun, just generally kind of like on the surface, it's a feel good kind of movie. Behind the scenes, there's some interesting stuff, but it's know before you go in that he wrote and directed it and did every special effect in the movie. That's the fun part.
And especially if you're any kind of a filmmaker type, it's impossible not to be inspired by watching it.
Shot on the same film stock as Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Star Wars. 5 years in the making, 5 days in the theaters.
Also, I believe you can also basically download a torrent of it. You can download a torrent of it effectively legally, in the sense that the guy who made it, Mike Jitlov, is like, yeah, do it. He doesn't own the rights to distribute it, I don't think.
No,
because of terrible political stuff.
The rights have been like abandoned somewhere. In a hole.
And there was like...
No, Pandas and Pancakes. That's the short. I'm talking about the full movie. The feature-length movie. The dramatization that ended up realer than he expected of him making that short.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the full movie, you gotta.
And there was a...
perfect.
There was a DVD...
It's on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
There's a semi-official DVD release of it. That was made by fans from the Laserdisc release.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Because they never actually released it on DVD.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's amazing.
Yeah, that link is the full movie.
The guy who plays the evil...
it's so crazy.
The guy who plays the evil movie executive that screws him over in the movie was played by his producer.
Literally his producer.
For the movie, and also screwed Mike Jitlov over in the process of making it.
It's so real. My favorite thing, real quick, in the movie, there's a bit where he gets thrown into a pool. And he, like, his character, like, in protest, like, stays underwater to make people think that he's drowned, to, like, mess with them. And people were asking him after the fact, how did you do this effect? How did you do this effect? And, like, there's a bit where he, like, rides a bike up a hill without pedaling, or there's, there's all kinds of crazy practical effects that he did, and he's explaining how he did all these things. For the thing in the pool, they're like, did you have like a rebreather, or was there like a clear tube that we couldn't see? And he's like, oh no, I can just hold my breath a real long time.
He's like,
he can just hold his breath like an uncomfortably long time. When you're watching the movie, try and hold your breath during that scene and see if you can do it as long as he can, and you cannot.
I think he's like, I live in LA. We have really terrible air quality, so you get really good lung capacity.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We're supposed to welcome some people.
Yeah, real quick. We're going to welcome these people, and then we're going to sign off, and Paul will be back to continue playing Woolly Times. So, subscribers today, Escherichia3 with a 23-month resub. Welcome back, Escherichia3, for your 23rd month. The username Christmas Special has just subscribed.
Woo!
It's got username Kaiju and a username Meteor or whatever it was that hit from the sky, and a username Hero pulled out of retirement and got into a Jaeger, and they had a big fight. But now they're all together and they're all singing Jingle Bells.
Yeah, they all. Well, it's like he's stuck. He's stuck in the cottage when there's snow, so he can't get home, and then they all kind of like visit, and people like there's like one of those like half barn doors.
Yeah.
So like the top opens, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm your next door neighbor, and also really famous."
Sandaharu with an 8-month resub. Diamond Tiki also with an 8-month resub. Welcome back, both of you. Gishyap. I can never pronounce that one. It's Gsyhiap. There's not enough vowels. Welcome back for your 6-month resub.
There's a couple vowels.
They're
just in the wrong space.
They're just all grouped together.
Yeah.
Comrade Barrick with a 10-month resub. Jesseopathic with a 10-month resub as well. Niljack with a 19-month resub. Nathan Longhair, whose avatar has very long hair, with a 3-month resub. Unspoken Kibbles with a 9-month resub. Napalm Sideburn, 16-month resub. Sounds very painful. Spartan N30 with a 6-month resub. And Dedicated Fence Sitter with a 19-month resub. Welcome back to all of you. Pardon me.
Yay.
Belch.
Thank you all very much for subscribing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes. So that's it for Checkpoint for today. Thank you for watching. We're going to go offline, and then Paul will be back in about 45 minutes for Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yay!
Yay!
And I believe
Yoshi.
we will be completing Yoshi's Woolly World today, I think.
The most adorable platform.
Unless there's like some sort of secret extra wool, which is entirely possible.
Extra secret wool.
It depends on... I think there's like a bunch of extra like other collectible stuff and possibly secret levels, so it just depends on how far we want to go down that road. But anyway, things are going to get woolly.
All right. Later, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, yes.